Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Crew Podcast. I am your visionary, Queen Angela. And if you are a diva that's looking to amplify your voice and you're looking for a home, we have space for you. Come on over and join them divas of the airwaves and amplify your voice.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they.
At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be now. No. Where did all the blue sky?
Basic Black, After Dark, the all-new podcast show with your host, Black Diamond. Tune in to the all-new Live Again podcast.
Because I'm back.
Tune in to the all-new Tune in to the all-new Live Again podcast show. Tune in to the all-new Live Again podcast show with your host, Emma Thomas. For God so loved the world.
Because I'm back.
Welcome to the SC Book Gal and Friends Chat. We're going to be talking about the latest in book reviews, author interviews, and life. Come on in and join us. We're ready. Are you?
I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me.
After Dark Podcast. This is the show that meets you where you are and gives you what you ask for. Now, there are some times where we discuss sensitive topics that arise based on the needs and expectations of the community. But most of the time, we have relaxed conversations. Now, many may not know what a rainbow or angel beauty after a dark time. An angel baby refers to an infant who is lost shortly after pregnancy. Death syndrome. Not every parent or angel baby. And pregnancies as such. Birth, ectopic, or molar pregnancy. Molar pregnancy is the fertilized egg that implants in the uterus. Parents who are pregnant again after a loss might go through a wide range of emotions like grief, joy, confusion, sadness, and anxiety. Many newborns in the U.S., especially Black and brown newborns, experience tragically high levels of infant deaths. Tonight, I have the honor of sitting with Tracy Turner of the Hope Project at Roberta's house, Andrea, Patrice, and Blue. Welcome to Basic Black After Dark, but I wish it was under other circumstances. First and foremost, my condolences for everyone's loss, for their babies and their loved ones, and what they call their angel babies. So again, we are here with Tracy Turner from the Hope House at Roberta's house, Andrea, Patrice, and Blue. Again, welcome to Basic Black After Dark. I'm apologizing early because we are having some problems here with the weather in the state that I am. Some of them can hear, but some of them are having the hard time coming on to the link. So we have called for some storms in the community that I'm in, but hopefully that'll lighten up soon. But here we are with Miss Patrice and Miss Tracy and Miss Andrea, and we have Miss Blue. Welcome, 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 ladies. And again, I am so sorry for your loss. I wish we were meeting under other circumstances.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Now, your baby doesn't replace the child you lost or the children you lost. Can someone share with our viewers, listeners, and families currently going through this loss some of the steps that they may have went through to help them through their grieving process?
Well, I actually celebrate it every year. Her birthday is May 25th, and I personally just get a cupcake. Now, I'm a big girl, so I do eat the cupcake. I'll let y'all know that right now. But um, I do celebrate her life just like I would do my other kids. So, yeah, that's really how I got through it.
Does anybody else want to share any steps or ways they may have gotten
Yes.
through?
So for me, it was always going back to the basics. So I had to take a moment and just stop and just remember what I was going through and that I was even going through anything. And once I did that, I was able to learn that grief can hit at any time and learn what grief was and tools to be able to handle it at any given moment.
Wow. Wow. So
And
most women who lose a baby, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it's in the process itself is different for everyone. I guess you won't know until you go through it because it can hit at any given time, but you can learn what you can learn and set yourself up for success when those moments hit.
Nobody can tell you how to grieve, when to grieve, or it's over. It happened a year ago. You should move on. Nobody can tell anybody that. Even if somebody else experienced that same grief and loss, you still can't tell somebody when and how to grieve a loss. Oh, you should take this advice and just do this. Oh, maybe you should just move on. Maybe you should adopt. Maybe you should. It's not the same, and it is different. We have a message from Travita, and she says, "Thank you for sharing your journey. My condolences and prayers for you all." Thank you so much, Travita. Most women who lose a baby will get pregnant again. And I understand your body takes time to heal, but your mental state also takes time to recover. Did anyone seek counseling or go to a life coach after the loss?
Um,
After the first one, I have received, the immediate counseling. I think because my doctor helped me birth all four of my living children. I had the same doctor, same room, same hospital. It was like I felt like that was meant to be because I had her for all of them. And she's like, do you want to keep having kids? And I'm just like, I don't know, because I was scared. And then, so I gave them, I knew that they were rainbow babies after, so that's part of their name. And I'm trying to teach my 7-year-old now that I love all my children the same, but it's like just that little piece is special. He's a little pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. And yeah, he like took my life, little guy. He's a medium guy, I'm sorry. He said he's not little, he's medium. But yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, to other children that's in the family that came before the rainbow babies, they may feel as though you treat that baby different. They may not understand, what you went through with the process. They may not even know anything about rainbow babies at all. So sometimes they may say you favor him or favor her, regarding the baby. Tracy, losing a child is a painful experience and it's essential for women. We also like to recognize that fathers also grieve differently. Historically, their grief has often been overlooked, but recent awareness is shedding light on their unique struggle. Can you share with our viewers and listeners how the Hope Project is supporting fathers who suffered the loss of their baby?
Yes, Diamond, and thank you for the opportunity. So, the Hope Project at Roberta's house is geared to supporting moms who have experienced the loss of a pregnancy or an infant before their first birthday. And recently, we launched a pilot program called Holding On to Hope, which supports the fathers as well because they also lost a pregnancy or an infant. And we want them to have a safe space to feel supported in their grief as well. And in the fall, we're going to have a co ed support group for the moms and the dad alongside our regular Still a Mom, which is called the SAM support group for the moms. To continue to provide that same safe space and supportive environment for the dads to be able to come with their partners and so they can start to move along that healing journey together.
That is just amazing that you're doing it for the men, because a lot of times the fathers go unnoticed when you know that a woman is pregnant. You're giving her the glory. You may give the guy a high five. Yeah, you're going to be a dad, but you're watching the mother possibly through the entire 9 months. You see her getting larger, and you're hearing her talk about the joys of the trimesters that she's going through, and then when the result comes that there's a loss, they look to the mother, and they do send their condolences to the mother and they wrap around the mother. But dad is still there, and dad suffered the same loss. He may not have carried, but he still suffered a loss of a child that he was looking forward to.
Right.
Some yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to, piggyback on that. Yeah, he lost the child as well, and along with that comes the lost hopes and dreams and plans that you have for that child that never get realized. So, it's, and men and women grieve differently, and men are just, they internalize their role as being the supporter and the provider and to make sure that we're good, but then somebody has to make sure they're good too.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's hard for the men. I don't want to be the one to sit and say that men don't cry. They do. They cry internally, and we just don't see it. And it could be their cry could be louder than what we could even ever imagine. And they try to continue to be supportive to the mothers and to the families, because sometimes you have a sibling that's looking forward to having another sibling, and
Right.
then all of a sudden that's not there anymore. So it affects the entire family and it affects the entire community because you have relatives, grandparents, it could be their first grandchild or something, or you may have found out what you were having. You was having a male, and it could be one that carries the legacy on. So it affects everyone, not just mom. I'm not making light of mom, but that's who we always see whenever we see, when we hear about loss of a baby and whatnot. Some people who take on this terminology of angel babies and rainbow babies say it's not the baby that died, that's the storm. Is it more about the grief that comes afterwards? Do anybody feel that it's more about the grief that comes afterwards?
Yes, I do. Um, from my experience of having an angel baby, I tried to kind of go, 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 go. And what I thought I was doing was getting things done and hitting all these bucket lists and checklists, but in reality, it looked like rage and depression. So the while the baby is remembered and while you're pregnant, you don't feel that storm. You feel the storm after, and getting those support systems and those tools that you need comes in all after it's happened.
I think I'm with you, but I think mine was when I found out I was pregnant again,
Okay.
because all
Wow.
those guards came up and I started to compare. And that was my worst enemy.
Mm.
Like, like one time I was thinking, should I sit like this or should I not sit like this? I was really trying to compare them until the point that I made myself so sick that they put me in the hospital. And that's when I started to get the counseling that I needed. So yeah, I do understand, but mine came later on once I found out again.
I understand. I
I
feel
want you ladies to know that it's nothing that you've done wrong that caused that loss. I don't want anybody to walk away feeling that I should have stood up more. Should have, not taken those vitamins. I should have taken these vitamins. I should have this. I should have. It's not your fault. It's something that has happened. I can't contest to it. Sometimes I say to friends that have lost, I said, God needed that angel up there with him. He needed it. He needed you to carry it as much as you could carry it because you're the only person that could have. But he needed it up there because he has a job for your angel. And your angel will know who you are because you are the one that carried them through. So, that's just me speaking because I haven't suffered that loss, but that's just the way I imagine. And it's not about soothing them, is that's just the way that I see things. And everybody see it differently in the way that they carry it. And some people carry that guilt. And they want to think that is guilt. It's not. And partners sometimes go back and forth at it, and that's where the counseling comes in at. So they can either separate counseling or go together and counsel. So there's no blame. Blue, you was about to say something.
um kind of sort of what Miss Patricia, Miss Andrea said. Um I wanted to know, maybe it's just me, but like the actual rainbow baby, just do you guys feel as though you overcompensate the loss by doing being extra protective and doing more because this is what I would have did for that baby? And it's like I said, I named my children because I knew they were rainbow babies. I have Tatum Rain, and um he's 7, and my youngest, who's 1, is True Rain. And I thought I was gonna lose her the day I had her, because I saw her and I was like, I've never seen a baby so small. Like, I just knew, I was missing a couple of days of a prenatal vitamin or blood pressure medicine or a missed appointment or something. So I was like, what is he gonna think when he see this little baby come out of me? She was like, I could really just hold her like this. She was so little. Like, now it's like My mom was like, nobody's gonna hurt that baby. I didn't want her to go to daycare. I didn't want her to go visit family. I didn't even want her to go stay with her dad. And I'm like, come see her here. He like, that's my baby. I want my family to see her. You can send the pictures. And like, I literally printed out pictures on free prints and was like, here, give it to your mom, your brothers, and her other siblings. I'm like, there you go. Like, I didn't want nobody around. I didn't want nobody. Don't breathe on my baby. Back up. You can see her from here. Look at her.
I understand. I'm
Yes.
currently, I understand that completely. I'm currently in the process of carrying my rainbow baby.
Oh, God.
So thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I am trying to find the balance not to overstep, not to overthink, or not to be overprotective or even compare. I have days where I do it more, and I have my days that are the good days. But I just utilize the tools I learned through Roberta's house, through therapy, and just apply it and take that moment instead of looking at it that way of being that way. I take a moment to really see, okay, what's the next step for me? What am I really doing? Am I really comparing? And once I'm able to compare, I'm able to decompress and approach it a different way or change my mindset on whatever it is I'm thinking.
I love that when you said you to decompress, because a lot of people don't. They just are afraid to move, are
Mm-hmm.
afraid to do anything. I'm afraid to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's the peanut
Yeah,
butter that's
it's
wrong.
real.
Just
It's
to
real.
other people, it may be simple little things, but it becomes real that it's the jelly. Let me check this jar. I'm gonna look at it. What's in here? It is something. Like, just
I
looking at every little thing.
anal with it. Like I was telling other people that weren't pregnant, guys, older people, young people, don't eat that. You're gonna mess up your reproductive system. Like, don't eat that. That's the wrong fish, and that got too much mercury in it. And I'm like, all I wanted to do was sleep, hold my belly, and just be by myself in a dark room, no windows. Just leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'll come around people when I wake up, and I want to be, when I need that human interaction. But I'll pop an ice cube in just to see the baby move, like knowing, like, oh, you in there, you moving around. I ain't. To my mom that's out there, I'm not pregnant. True Brain was the last one. So it's like, I don't know.
No, Blue, I totally understand what you did.
Yeah,
I
it's a
was 6 months pregnant with my daughter. I was still taking pregnancy tests. Yeah,
Trying to
y'all.
see if you were pregnant.
I did that.
I'm looking at a big old belly. I'm like, let me take this test just to make sure. Like, I was silly.
I
Now I
understand.
look back, it's silly, but I knew what I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can look back
Yeah,
at it and be like,
and only you can tell your story, um, and you probably will someday tell your story. I didn't go through it, but when my son makes me upset, I say I went through 72 hours of labor with you, boy. So you guys will be. He's a big one. He's a whopper. He you tell your stories, and you'll find your way to tell your stories when you're ready to tell your story. Uh, Tracy, how
Yeah.
different has it been for someone who has lost an adult child than a baby, or is there a difference? Because I know at Roberta's house you work with families who also lost adult children or other adults. But there's also those who, such as Andrea and Blue and Patrice, who have lost it. How different is it from the reactions of them? Some people may say that you didn't know that baby, but you knew this person for maybe 15, 20, 30 years. So you shouldn't have been that attached. And I don't like hearing that when they say you shouldn't have been that attached. That's still your child.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I'm not an expert because I've not had the experience of losing an adult child, um, but I have lost a pregnancy. I think it's as different as the individual. Grief is grief. It doesn't matter, the age or even, the proximity of the person. When you lose somebody, that's trauma.
It's a traumatic
Yeah.
experience. Everybody experiences trauma in their own individual way. So, any degrees of more or less severe or important or painful, I don't think that those terms apply. It's a painful experience that you go through when you lose someone that you love, whether or not you've known them for 5 seconds or 50 years. So,
Thank you so much for that. Some women go through postpartum depression, also called PPD. It's a medical condition that many women go through after having a baby. Still, I ignored the fact that the postpartum could also affect those who are grieving or lost. Did anyone go through postpartum or grief after that? Especially if you had a baby prior to that, did anybody go through postpartum? Or could they separate or differentiate between postpartum and grief?
Um, so for me, I feel like I went through both, but I feel like I can't separate it. Even though I had children before, I didn't experience postpartum. If I did, I wasn't aware that I was experiencing it. And with the grief being so heavy and the symptoms of postpartum depression and, going through it, it does it doesn't feel different. Not for me.
I thought that, like Jimmy said before, I thought I did something wrong. So with the overcompensation, I was like, I have to have another baby right away because that's the only thing that's going to fix this. So it was get pregnant and hurry up and do it fast, so nobody would notice that that baby that you lost was gone. So and then I didn't know anything about ectopic pregnancies. So when I learned about it and I learned what it was and what it could do, I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, oh my God, like the baby could still be growing, but not where it's supposed to grow. And so that was like another loss on top of the first one. So then when I had my son, um, I was in a space that I it was better for him and myself. I wasn't around the the negativity. I still had the great support system at home, even though I wasn't home. And he's the biggest baby I ever saw. Well, the biggest baby I birthed. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. And I call him Chubby. And just seeing him smile and the way he put his little eyebrow up, and he just, he's a little gentleman. Like, just, he, he's Tatum. Like, it's my baby. Even though he's not the baby, he just such a compassionate little boy. And I'm just like, you show him your mama? Did they send me home with the right one? I, his compassion for other people and the way he cares for his sister, even though she's abusive, she be hitting him, but the way he's like, it's okay, she's just a baby. And I'm like, man, is it good that she has you as a brother? And this is probably him now knocking on my door. And good that she has
I heard you say my name.
he heard me say his name.
Hi.
hi, handsome.
I shall say hi on the TV.
Oh, you have tears on it. All right, go watch it. Let me finish the podcast.
Auntie's baby. Auntie can come get him. By the way, Jesus. Blue is my daughter. So when she's talking about her children, especially that little girl of hers, she's on her little vacation with her father. She can say just where she at. She's a piece of work. And so is that little one standing right next to her. They're all a piece of work. And that's as grandmother speaking. I'm very happy that they're here. But I have a question for you ladies when it comes time to these children. But what I had mentioned earlier was that how grief is different for fathers. Fathers may grieve differently from their mothers. Understanding their distinct needs and emotions is crucial for providing effective support. I recently spoke with a husband who taught me about a rule he used when grieving. And he called this rule the 555 rule. And when he said that, I said, is he thinking of the 80-20 rule or what's going on? And he clearly explained to me the 555 rule during grief and his postpartum period. after the loss of his baby boy. He said it helped him manage his well-being. He said he took 5 days in bed, 5 days on the bed, and 5 days around the bed to be sure he was in the right headspace to get out of bed. So what was support like that for you? Because that was amazing. Those 555s that said, shoot, and I get home one day and I'm just tired and I just had it at work. I may try those 555s myself, being in the bed, being on the bed, being around the bed, and making sure you're in the right headspace. So I applaud this gentleman for even just sharing that with us and for opening my eyes up to something that's different because a man can teach you things, and this man has taught me something. So I thank him for that.
I think the most important part of the, I don't know what to call it, the healing part of being a rainbow baby mom is, like you said, understanding that it's not our fault. It's not something we did, and the fact that we were strong enough, like Miss Andrea here is having a, a baby, like she's pregnant with her rainbow baby, knowing that she's well enough and competent, because a lot of people's like, oh, they would say I'm crazy and or think that the baby is still there, because your stomach is still bloated and all of that. So just having that courage to I mean, not go back out there, but you know what I'm saying? Like to put yourself back in that world of trying to be a mom again. So kudos to you and Miss Patrice. Like I look at it like it's not just me, because I'm like, maybe I was outside too much, or maybe I should have ran up the stairs, or now look at this little boy. Y'all don't understand. I
Thank
gotta
you so much for the Trivita put in that she loved the 555 rule. Thank you so much. I said to myself that I'm going to use it. It may take time for parents to come to terms with the loss of their baby. And when they are ready, they create memories of their loss. Some parents plant a garden or a tree in their honor of their baby, and others make a memory box or ask the hospital for the footprints and handprints of their baby for keepsakes. Can you share, if you want to, with our listeners and viewers, if you honored the memory of your baby? And if not, it's okay. But if so, what have you done to honor your baby? I know you honor your baby every day. There's not a day that you don't think about your baby. But did somebody like plant a tree or get the fingerprints, or is there something, maybe a special ribbon?
Yes. So I created, I'm very spiritual and I need my time when I'm just, praying and things of that sort. So I created a sacred space for my rainbow baby, a mirror sky. I created a sacred space to where as though I have her. I do have a keepsake box that the hospital gave me with clothes, with like her footprints and things of that sort. And I just put things that I love on
Beautiful.
it, things she may have loved, or signs or symbols that I've noticed with her. I have a couple of things from Roberta's house as well that I placed on there. And I also, so basically, I can have that space when I need time with my child to actually go sit there and be with her. And that's her and our family place to just still have her right here. So I have that, our
Wow.
urns, and just other creative things that's going to remind me of her, but honor her as well.
I
Wow.
went
Just to
Wow.
get through
Beautiful.
tonight,
I went
just to get through the night, I have my baby box like right here next to me. Like it is literally right here. It was created by the nurse in the hospital. She was so sweet. She brought this to me. It was the dress that she was buried in, and her footprints. And she asked, she was so polite. She asked me, she said, "Do you want a picture?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she put it in there. And all I know is when I got home, she said, do not go through your bag while you're here. Once you go home, you get settled, and I want you to go through your bag. And like literally right now, this box is sitting here next to me. So, yeah.
I applaud the nurses that respect the parents that are going through this, because some nurses will just deliver and keep moving, or say this person lost their baby and keep moving. But then you have those nurses that are truly compassionate, that work in that ward or department or that floor, that are truly compassionate, and they go through that process with you while you're there in the hospital. They don't just ignore you. They even check on you to see how you're doing. So I applaud those nurses that do just that, because
Yeah.
many of them don't. They figure, this is just my job. I don't know her, things like that.
And you know
We're going
what? It,
to.
oh,
No, go
one
ahead.
of the hardest part of losing a child for me was not going home with that child. So to have those boxes and to have those memories, I still went home with my child. Creating that space, I'm still home with my child, even beginning in the hospital. So it's
Wow.
important.
I thank you, ladies, for that. We're going to take a quick break before I break down myself, because these stories are they're really touching. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we return, we're going to continue talking about grief and loss of your beautiful angel and rainbow babies.
Okay.
Roberta's House was founded in 2007 by my family to honor our mother, Julia Roberta March. Our mother and father provided funeral care for thousands of African Americans in Baltimore of little means. We recognize that the epidemic of unresolved grief contributed to increased violence and health disparities in our city. Many residents lose their jobs, their source of income, or become estranged from family members and their community, creating a perfect storm of loss, grief, anger, and resignation. Roberta's House transforms the ability of individuals and families to find new purpose, circles of support, manage stress, and learn healthy coping skills that improve their well-being. We have provided free grief support and counseling to over 10,000 survivors of homicide, suicide, overdose, and women who have lost their babies. Our educational programs have reached thousands in schools, workplaces, and faith communities. Roberta's House staff have trained over 800 volunteers. Our volunteers reflect the experiences of the communities we serve. In 2021, we opened the first-of-a-kind bereavement center in Baltimore. The new center is an anchor for the revitalization of a blighted neighborhood. Roberta's House is a leader and an innovator in public health interventions to impact unresolved grief.
If you haven't been to Roberta's House, I tell you, you really need to go by there. Knock on the door, ring the bell, volunteer, because it's they have so much. They have so much. I remember after I lost my husband, and they had an event there, and it was around the Christmas time, and I heard about it, and I said, I'm not going. I just couldn't take it. But I walked in, and when I came out, I felt something lift. And I said I needed to be in that place. So it behooved me to be there at that time. Roberta's House it just offers so much. Tracy, how does the whole project help a bereaved teen? Because teenagers go through this as well.
Well, teens, we have our program called Changing the Game, and it is geared to adolescents and teens. And they go out into the schools, and then they also have programs where they meet on Thursdays at Roberta's House. And they help them to process their grief and loss of anyone that was significant to them. And actually, we have Camp Aaron coming up next weekend. We take kids. I think we have like 70 kids that are going to camp over the weekend, and it's just filled with, fun camping activities, but still that grief and loss support, so that they are able to, process their grief, honor their loved ones, and still feel supported, but yet still be able to commune with their peers, and have fun while, during the summer. So it's just for a couple of days, but we have so many different services ranging again from adolescents and teenagers to homicide survivor advocacy programs, um, time of sharing, men of loyalty and dignity. Like, we have something for everyone in the family. And we also have counseling, and therapy services, and everything that we provide is free. So it's
Yeah,
nice.
that everything that they provide is free. Shanette asks, are they connected to any program in California?
No, we're just in Baltimore City and in Prince George's County, in the Lanham Greenbelt area of Prince George's County. But
I got a feeling that you guys are going to be going out a little further than where we at now, because this Roberta's house is something. It
Yeah.
is truly something. Roberta's house, if you go on their website, you'll see that they do much more than what we're talking about tonight. They're just this family. It's family, and if you're not born into that family or married into that family,
Is she here?
you just feel the warmth there with them, and they just bring you in. Have you or any of you told your child that he or she is a rainbow angel or baby? Have you explained it to your child? And if so, what did they think, or what did they say? Patrice, you're laughing.
Because
Your daughter must have had a lot to say.
it was questions galore. And then so that means I get to celebrate two birthdays and get cake more often. Hold up, what that group thing? You say her, not you. So when you get a cupcake, that means you can get an extra one from now on, right? So I was like, yeah. So I showed her the box. Can I have her teddy bear? Like, are you serious? So, yeah.
Well, that's a piece of something that she may want to hold on to.
I tried to explain it to Tatum, and he was like, "Is that why my name Tatum Rain?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he said, "You sure?" Because there's a wrestler, and his name is Roman Reigns. And I'm like, and I was trying to explain it to him, and that he was like, "Am I the only one? Do that mean I'm extra special? Because I'm named his favorite, but they don't know I'm named his favorite."
So you just put me on blast with this boy. So you have all the grandkids calling me up. You see what you did? Now I got to sit there and start explaining it to each and every one of them of how special they are to me. And see, there you go.
I haven't experienced it just yet, but I only can imagine. My older children, they do. Well, more so my daughter. She's the one who had questions, and when I explained to her what a rainbow baby is, her reaction was, "I love rainbows." So once you know. So once she realized she loved rainbows, she just thought it was a extra sprinkle of love. My older children, they really didn't have experience, and I can only imagine what questions I will have. I don't know if it's a way to prepare for that though.
How do they view themselves as being rainbow babies? Are they thinking that they're that extra special baby, or do they think that they're a substitute baby? Now I know your children are very young, but I just question whether that's something that they may think of later, because I was watching. I don't know if I can mention the name of the show, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I was watching Grey's Anatomy, and I that was the first time I heard of a donor baby, where the couple had a baby for the sake of the other child, so the other child can live. How do your children right now view themselves? Yeah, that's what I've learned with a donor baby, that this couple had a baby because their child was sick and the parent didn't match the child. So they said if you had another child, it might. And so they had another child. And whenever that child needed what she considered parts, they would take it from their child to give to their child. It's an episode on Grey's Anatomy that if you watch it, it was something that had my mouth just like Patrice's mouth. Like I was really surprised that Shonda Rhimes, great job with bringing up the topic, but it's out there. It's out there for her to bring that topic up. It's probably out there. But about your children, how do you think they view themselves? You did tell them about them being a rainbow baby, but do you see them thinking or feeling a certain way about themselves because they are rainbow babies? Or how special do you think that they believe they are?
Well, I have my oldest son is 21, and then there was my daughter, and then there's the rainbow baby, which is my daughter Naya. He always tells her, "You're the special one because you get away with bloody Scott murder." Like, really? So, but she knows that she's very special, and I think I show that a lot, like a lot. I think too much sometimes, but yeah, she
Well, there's a
knows.
difference in the age too, so so that it doesn't help, but it helps. On both sides, it doesn't help, but it does help. In one word, what is the personality of your angel or rainbow baby? I heard they have a positive, happy, and cooperative attitude. In one word, how would you say they are?
You asking somebody specific?
Yeah, I'm asking the question. In one word, how do you view this their personalities? What is the personality of your angel or a rainbow baby? I heard that they have a positive, happy, and cooperative attitude. Something that's just you've never seen before. Because I know I say that about my grandchildren, and many of them are not rainbow babies. I say that seen it before, or I'll say something about them. What is it about that rainbow baby that you see that is different than maybe some of your other children? Now, all children are different, but it's just something different because they were a rainbow baby. And not because of the way you feel, but the way that they may feel or may be. Like, this kid is the happiest kid in the world. I've never seen anything like this before.
I feel as
Anaya is very empathetic. Very, very much so. Yeah.
Tatum is very compassionate. Yeah, he's very compassionate little boy.
That's that rainbow. That's that rainbow coming over for them. So it is different. How did you feel learning you were pregnant again after the loss?
A whole bunch at one time. It was, I was excited. I was worried. I was nervous. I wanted to hit a backflip. It I feel so many different emotions, even still going through the pregnancy. I think the very first feeling was shock, though. I think it took until I really hit that 12-week mark to really accept that I was expecting again.
So many parents use rainbow imaginary in their announcement because it keeps in mind the baby they lost while they celebrate the baby that's coming. How did you announce and celebrate the coming of your beautiful rainbow baby? And people, they celebrate this new pregnancy however they like. But how did you keep it quiet? Did you just go out and tell everybody I'm pregnant again? I know you mentioned that you were nervous, but how did you make the announcement to everybody else, and how did they take it when you told them?
So for me, it was in increments, right? I compartmentalized immediately. I told my system, my support systems, Roberta's house, my therapist, and my immediate family. They were the only ones that knew, because I knew I was going to go through so much. Because even finding out, it was a lot going on. I kept it a secret until people saw me. When you see me, you see me, and here it is. But everyone has been so supportive and excited. They are ready. It's a lot of joy and positivity, positive feedback that I've been getting, regardless of when anyone found out.
So expecting again can raise a lot of conflicting emotions like guilt, relief, excitement, and sadness. I imagine families go through every type of emotion. Tracy, do you find many families keeping it to themselves until their pregnancy becomes visible?
Um, I've had some moms. Again, my interaction has been with the moms. I've had moms say that they wanted to, wait until at least a certain period in the pregnancy, maybe the second trimester, or getting past that point where they may have lost the previous pregnancy before they tell anyone. Um, and then, their peers, especially coming through our support groups and being a part of Still a Mom, or even in our home visiting program, being a part of this community and you become pregnant, you don't want to trigger your peer by you being pregnant. So there's trepidation with that as well. So there are just a lot of layers to, the process, the grief process, and then sharing that information because you don't want to trigger someone else's grief too.
We had Shanette ask the question about whether you were in California or not. What about virtual? Would they support someone who's in another state with the Hope Project and Roberta's House support someone if they're in another state and they needed to talk to someone? And because of your beautiful program that you have and you offer so much, and some states may not have that, would you do virtual, or do you do virtual already?
We do have an option for virtual service, but anyone in a different state, they're more than welcome to give me a call, and I'll put my information up there. Call me or shoot me an email, and we'll see if there's not anything that we can provide you. I will make sure I give you resources that you can reach out to, because the goal is to make sure that you have the support you need, no matter where it comes from.
This has been awesome. I want to thank Tracy for bringing the whole project to Basic Black After Dark, and for Patrice, Blue, and Andrea for sharing their journey. Tracy, can you share with our viewers and listen some of the other programs through the whole project and how individuals and families can connect?
Yes. So with the Hope Project, we have Still a Mom, which is our 10-week support group for Angel Moms, and that's on Monday evenings from 8 to 6. And it's on site, but I am going to offer a virtual component to it as well. Then we also have Pregnancy After Loss, also known as POW, and that's going to be going back to SAM. So our next SAM group is going to start up for the fall session September 9th, and that's on a Monday. In 10 weeks. And then our POW support group, which is Pregnancy After Loss, for those moms that are currently pregnant after experiencing a loss of a pregnancy or an infant, will start for the fall session September 24th, and that's a Tuesday from 6 to 8, and that's for 6 weeks. And then we also have Angelversary coming up, which is in October. We're in Perinatal and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and Angelversary is going to be held on the 15th. It's a big celebration at Roberta's house. There'll be keynote speakers and candlelight vigil and dinner. So those you'll be able to register for that in the next coming weeks. And then we have our 12-month home visiting program, where it is you would be assigned to a family support worker and they would visit you once a week, and you will learn different tools, and they'll make sure that you have connections and linkage to any resources you need throughout Baltimore City. So, and that's just the Hope Project. So Roberta's House, again, we have time of sharing,
That's a
raise
whole nother thing. Dirty's house, because I've seen it. And you really, I wouldn't care what state you're in. I would still say connect with them because of
Absolutely.
resources. You can speak with someone there. They may be able to give you that advice that or support that you're looking for that you may not have in the state that you're in. They may connect you with someone that's close enough in your state. Many families identify with the phrase rainbow baby because their subsequent pregnancy represents hope after grief. It can also be a way of honoring a child who is no longer living, but an ever-present member of their family. On August 22nd, families will celebrate their living children and honor the siblings that did not survive. This is called Rainbow Baby Day. Please join the hundreds of parents and families honoring and celebrating their babies. There are many organizations there to support you during your time of grief. You can find information and support both when you've lost a pregnancy and when you're having a rainbow baby, such as the March of Dimes, Pregnancy After Loss Support, and Roberta's House with grief counseling, not just parents of angel and rainbow babies, but for families who have lost loved ones. And what we know as the Hope Project, as part of their commitment to healing, the Healing Ourselves Through Peer Empowerment Project. Educate, empowers, and supports mothers who have fetal or infant loss. The Hope Project is the most pressing program that provides resources and comfort care and teaches how to plan for a healthy future. Join us on Friday, August the 16th, with author Nellie V and his poetry on Basic Black after 8, after dark. I appreciate you ladies for coming and being so transparent and sharing your stories. I'm hoping that there's someone out there that's heard your story and that you were able to give them that I can do this. I need to connect with. And if anybody has missed any of the information, you can go into the replay and get all the information. And I'm not sure if there's a connection with any one of these ladies' stories that you may want to connect with. You can contact me. I will try to reach out to them and ask them, would it be okay for them to have a contact with you? Because some people need some people. You always see and hear that hurt people, helping people, help people. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much for being a part of this. And this is what we're going to try to do every year. And we'll celebrate with them in August, Rainbow Babies, because unfortunately, there's probably going to be more rainbow babies and rainbow families within the next year or so. But remember, there's nothing that you did that was wrong. Good night, ladies, and thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you so very much for inviting us and having us here. If anything else, just reach out and I'll try to be of
service. You guys offer
Basic Black After Dark, the all new podcast show with your host, Black Diamond.